Great Wars by Laura Homer. Scene 1. Ernie stares out of his bedroom window, deep in thought. His room is neat and orderly, a half-finished easel of the Yorkshire landscape nearby. Maeve bursts in, clutching a newspaper, a whirlwind of energy and excitement.
Can you believe it?
Yeah.
We are at war! This is the best thing that has ever happened. Standing up to the Germans like that, we're like heroes.
No, there's nothing heroic about war.
Do you think your John will sign up?
Probably. And he's not my John. He's a law unto himself, rather like you.
Thank you.
It's not a compliment. And you shouldn't be up here. It's improper to be alone in the bedroom of a gentleman.
But do hold yourself back, Ern. Gentlemen, you're living in one of your worlds again. Those rules don't apply to us.
They apply to everyone. And rules are meant to be abided by. So, if you don't mind.
Oh, don't be so dull. And stop trying to get rid of me. Don't you want to celebrate?
Celebrate?
This is the most exciting thing in our lives. Can't you hear everyone on the street? It's a party out there.
People will die, Maeve. Don't you understand that?
Oh, well, if you're going to be like that.
No, wait. I've heard too many awful stories about what the last war did to my father to be excited about this one.
This one's different. It'll be over in a few months, you'll see.
I hope so. I noticed you haven't asked me if I'm signing up.
You wouldn't. You're not a fighter. And there's too much mud in a war. How would you keep clean?
Yes, that is my primary concern.
Besides, you're my best friend. I need you here. Who would stop me from all of my misbehaviour without you around?
Yes, that is a full-time job.
Who would correct me when I say them instead of those?
It is annoying when you do that, actually. I've told you so many times.
Who would marry me?
About that.
Mrs. Hartley enters. Ernie jumps apart from Maeve. Mrs. Hartley looks between them.
Good morning, Ethel. Have you seen the news?
Maeve, I'd like a word with Ernie. Would you mind?
Maeve steps in front of Ernie as if to shield him.
I've told him he's not to sign up. I need him here. You need him here. He's too important to go gallivanting across Europe.
Oh, look at the two of you. I shouldn't leave you alone up here, not anymore.
Just what I was saying. It's most unseemly for Maeve to charge into my bedroom whenever she wants. And I do want to talk, Mother, but I have an important matter to attend to. I'll see you out, Maeve.
Ernie walks Maeve across the stage, Mrs. Hartley watching after them.
Charge into your room. What is up with you? Look, if you're still angry about that time I caught you and John, I did say sorry about 100 times.
Keep it down, will you? You'll get me in trouble speaking like that. And it really is time you learn to knock.
If you were trying to shame me in front of your mother, Ernie, it won't work.
No, nothing does shame you, does it? Listen, what I was saying to Mother, I do need to head off.
Haven't you already done your round? I could come with you. We can spread the good news.
They all know. You said it yourself. I need to get out for a while. The last thing I need is a lecture on the war from Mother.
She'd want you to stay, won't she? After your dad?
I'm in no mood to talk about it right now.
Well, come with me. We'll get tea. I'll even buy you one of them scones you like.
One of those scones. And I can't just stand by and let you buy me things out in public. People talking off already. Look, I'll walk you to the square if you like, but I'm going out to the hills. I need to think.
You're always thinking. You even have to think about so much. Come on, we'll make an afternoon of it. Come join the celebrations.
No, I'd rather not.
Suit yourself. Don't bother walking me. I'm fine on my own.
Scene 2, Ernie's bedroom. John sits towards the end of the bed, smoking. Ernie watches him. Their clothes are on the floor. Ernie moves forward to rest his chin on John's shoulder.
I'd like to ask you something.
Yes, we can go again. I'll just finish this.
But that's not what I mean, I'm happy to, of course. But,
What's that word? That long word that you like? It means something like wanting something all the time.
Insatiable.
That's it. That's what you are.
I am not. But I'm hardly going to refuse when you offer yourself to me. How could I possibly?
John smirks. He leans forward to kiss Ernie, but Ernie avoids him.
No more distractions. Look, we need to talk about the war.
Oh, man.
No, the volunteering for the army. I know it all seems exciting, but You should consider it properly. Don't get swept up and sign up without thinking about the reality of war. What they'd expect you to do. The brutality, not just adventure. You'll be asked to murder innocent men just like yourself. And you're better than that, John. You're not a killer. What I mean to say is, don't go.
I've already signed up. Seemed like the right thing to do. Everyone's going, Ern.
Not everyone.
Come with us.
Can you really see me out there, gun in hand, murdering some poor chap who I've never met? And they haven't done anything wrong, but get caught up in his country's aggressive politics.
No, I can't, actually, especially when you go on like that.
It's not going on. It's assessing the full extent of the situation, something which no one else in this village has the capacity to do.
John cuts him off with a kiss.
You know I like it when you get all angry.
Just think about it, please. What could you possibly get out of it?
Fun! Travel, explore, do something different. I've never been further than Leeds or York.
I know. But
There's more to life than this village, you know. What's so great about being here anyway? Same people doing the same thing every day, and I want something else, Ern. I can see my life here, going down the pit every day and work and work and work until I can't no more, and I don't want that.
you don't have to go down there.
What else would I do?
You could do anything. You're smart enough to try it at the bank.
Boring.
Or the pub, you'd like that. Eh? Or join the postal service with me.
Oh, spend my life delivering letters.
And what's wrong with that? It's a fine profession, I'll have you know. Every stage of your life passes through the hands of a postman. I deliver letters from faraway loved ones, wedding invitations, news of new arrivals. And there are people who come out and have a chat every day or invite me in. Oh, it's a wonderful way to pass the time. And I know you make fun of it, John, but enjoying your work, doing something you love every day, that's not to be sniffed at. I wouldn't give it up for anything, especially not this war.
John kisses Ernie again.
I can't resist you when you're all passionate like that.
You've distracted me again. Stay here.
And do what? You'll act as my sweetheart. It's not a proper life, Ern.
Could be. We could make it one. The two of us in a cottage.
What people would talk.
On the edge of the village, further even, far enough that people would leave us be. There's books, you know, I wish you'd read. Edward Carpenter.
I don't want to be a carpenter either. Besides, you'll be married to Maeve by the time I get back.
Not necessarily.
You've been promised to that girl your whole life. You can't back down now. She loves you.
She doesn't love me like that. She's almost my sister.
Look, I'm going. I'm not going to stay at home whilst others fight for me.
And I'm not going to go and kill young men simply because some fellow in an office told me I must.
Well, that's it then.
I suppose it is. This isn't how this evening was supposed to go.
I thought you came to say goodbye.
I came to talk you out of it.
Don't do that.
I'm not doing anything.
You're getting upset. You know that I don't like it when you cry.
I don't want you leaving, especially for something so awful as a war.
Oh, it's not that bad. They say we'll be back by Christmas.
Well, I hope you are. I'll think of you.
I'll think of you.
Will you?
I'll give you something to remember me by.
Yeah, as if I could forget.
John takes his shirt off the floor and gives it to Ernie.
Yeah. It's not much, but...
It's your best shirt. Your Sunday shirt. You dressed up for me tonight, I did notice. It was your goodbye, wasn't it?
All right, don't go on. It's just a shirt.
Are you getting sentimental?
No.
Thank you. I'll keep it safe for when you return.
You do that.
And you take my shirt.
John picks up Ernie's shirt from the floor. It's too small for his broad frame. He poses with it, trying to make light of the situation.
Yeah, I don't think yours will fit me.
Ernie wraps his arms around John and holds on tight. John hesitates for a second, then holds him back. He presses a kiss to Ernie's hair. Scene 3. Maeve, Gladys and Ernie watch the procession of villagers turned soldiers through the streets. Gladys and Maeve stand close together, arms linked.
Don't they look great?
As much as I hate that they're marching to their deaths, there is something about a man in uniform.
Don't say that. They're not marching to the deaths. Don't you listen, Ernie? And don't you look if that's how you feel about them. I still don't understand why you like men as well.
My greatest flaw, that something so base as a man could still appeal to me. Don't worry, they don't look as wonderful as you, of course, dear.
She's right.
Thank you.
No, I mean about the men, boys, marching to their deaths.
Did you just say that I was right? Look over there, Maeve. That pig is flying. Could you repeat that, Ernest? Of course, none of this would be happening if we had the vote.
Oh, not this again. Not every day must be a protest. Can we please not do this, not today?
I just mean that we'd choose politicians that were sensible, if such a thing exists. We'd have stopped it all before it even started. We'd have thought of a more diplomatic solution.
Oh, like breaking windows or setting fire to post boxes?
Let's enjoy the parade. They've never looked so fine. Aren't you proud, Ernie?
No.
Which one is your sweetheart?
Excuse me?
John, isn't it? Which one is he?
Maeve, a word.
Ernie pulls Maeve to one side.
I told you that nobody was to know.
It's Gladys.
Nobody. Do you have any idea how dangerous this could be?
Oh, I had to tell her so she'd understand about us. It's not like she'll care.
I don't want anyone knowing details of my private life. Is that clear?
It's not like I went round telling everyone.
Gladys draws closer to them.
Don't tell anyone else. You'll get me in prison with your carelessness.
I won't. I would never. I am careful, Ernie. I swear I am. I wouldn't tell her if I thought it would be bad for you.
You're making her cry, which means it's time for me to put a stop to this conversation.
This isn't your business, and I'll thank you to keep out of it.
You'll shut up now, and I won't thank you for it.
Don't argue. You know I hate it.
I won't stand here and do nothing while he talks to you like that.
And I won't stand here and listen to your accusations.
There he is. There's John.
Ernie eagerly looks over to where Maeve points. John walks by in his soldier's uniform. Ernie can't look away.
Accusations.
You should give him your handkerchief.
I can't do that.
There's loads of people doing it. Look.
The women, Maeve, the women are doing it. It's not as if I can go up there.
I'll go.
Maeve takes the handkerchief out of Ernie's pocket. She runs up to John and presents him with the handkerchief. He takes it, bemused, and then looks over to Ernie. John and Ernie share a look. John raises the handkerchief in salute to him, then exits without looking back.
They've gone. They've really gone.
I'll take my leave.
No, Ernie, wait. Don't walk off while you're mad at me.
Not now, Maeve.
Tell him you won't tell anyone. Just tell him you'll keep his secret.
It's quite all right, you know. I do understand better than most.
Understand? Understand? No, you don't. How could you possibly? Look at you.
And what about me are you finding so offensive this time?
Here you are, out in the open with your arms around each other.
I fail to see the problem. Unless you are jealous of my relationship with Maeve, which we've already established isn't the issue, is it?
It's not about that, and you know it. It's downright infuriating that you two can stand there like that and no one bat an eye. Whilst I can't even approach John on the day that he leaves without raising suspicion. Goodness only knows what would happen if we were to hold each other like that for everyone to see.
I'm sorry about your position, truly, but that is no reason to upset Maeve.
Ernie, please.
Scene 4. Ernie walks past a "Your Country Needs You" poster as he delivers letters. At one door, a mother waits for news. Ernie gives her a telegram. She breaks down when she skims the contents. Ernie tries to comfort her, but she pushes him away. The mother's daughter, Emily, comes out and realizes what has happened. She guides her mother back inside, motioning for Ernie to wait. After a moment, Emily comes back out with a white feather that she gives to Ernie. Emily exits back into the house. Ernie is left alone with his white feather. Scene 5. Gladys's bedroom. Gladys shows off her nurse's uniform to Maeve.
I see why you like people in uniform now.
You are a darling.
Gladys gives Maeve a quick kiss on the lips in thanks.
I can't believe you'll be working at a hospital. What do you think it'll be like?
Oh, you know, treating infections and cleaning up sick and amputated limbs. Did I mention the blood? Oh, it'll probably be all quite horrific.
Oh, it'll be great. You'll be saving lives and delivering babies, making people feel better. You need to think about the good side of things.
Well, your outlook certainly makes more sense. And what will you do?
Me?
Yes, what job would you like? We haven't found anything for you yet.
I've got a job. I'll continue at house.
Washing dishes and scrubbing floors. There are so many more options now. Don't you want to try something new?
What could I do? I barely got through school, and that was only because Ernie helped with everything.
Oh, I'm sure that's not the case. You're smarter than you give yourself credit for. Besides, education has no mark on your future. Just look at these private school boys. Education at great expense to the highest degree. And now they're first in the firing line. All those brains for a bullet. What a waste.
The war isn't a bad thing.
Anne? Oh. And how are you, Miss Collins?
I'm well, thank you, Mrs. Rothschild. How are you?
A woman with manners in this house. Wonders never cease.
What is the use for manners at home? They're an outdoor sport.
She thinks she's the second coming of Oscar Wilde sometimes.
Can we help you?
We've had some news.
I'll have to leave in a minute. It's not a good time.
Well, don't go bringing any diseases home. And shall we be graced by your presence at breakfast again, Miss Collins?
Don't try to embarrass her.
I'm not embarrassed.
Mrs. Rothschild comes closer to kiss Gladys on the head.
We'll talk later, darling.
What was that about?
Probably nothing. A lie to interrupt us, perhaps. She does love to make herself a nuisance.
I like your mum. She doesn't mind about us. She doesn't even care when I stay over.
Don't be fooled. Now, let's get back to the topic. Have you thought about driving? I can just picture you on a tram or a bus.
I can't drive.
Well, I'll teach you.
Besides, I'd have to go to one of the towns or cities for that.
Maeve, there's so much that you're missing out there. My friends from London have signed up to drive ambulances in France.
They haven't.
They are right in the thick of it.
No, they're not.
You have too much spirit in you not to try something extraordinary.
Do you think this time, for me to get another job? I mean, we don't know how long the war will last.
Well, there's no sign of it stopping.
They weren't back by Christmas.
No. We'll have a think on it tomorrow, shall we? I'm sure there's a better job for you out there. We must take the opportunities while we have them.
Scene 6. Maeve and Ernie enter from opposite sides of the stage. Ernie is halfway through his post round. Maeve strides forth on the street.
Ernie!
I'm working, Maeve.
I won't let you avoid me forever. You can't keep being angry with me. Can't we talk?
A young woman enters holding a white feather. Ernie spots her. Maeve hasn't seen her. Ernie tries to usher Maeve away.
Yes, all right. Fine, we'll talk later.
The woman shoves a feather at Ernie.
Coward!
The woman starts to run off. Maeve is outraged.
Oi, you!
Maeve runs after the woman and grabs her arm.
You take that back right now and apologise.
He should be the one apologising to his country for not doing his bit.
He's doing important work, making sure families hear back from their men. Have you heard from your brother recently?
Well, yes.
And how's he doing?
Getting by.
Oh, how do you know that? Because you got a letter from him delivered by Ernie. Imagine if there was no post. Everyone would be terrified, not knowing if their loved ones was alive or not. These letters keep everyone going. Ernie is doing his bit. He's just doing it a bit different, that's all. It don't mean it's less important. Oh, you should be ashamed, acting like that. Don't you go near him again.
A boy could do it. Or a woman. He should be fighting with the rest of them. Shirker.
The woman runs off.
Can you believe it? What she just said. The world is going mad.
I can't believe it, actually. They all think it.
He opens his post sack to reveal a handful of feathers.
The women of this village hate me, and the men, everyone.
I don't hate you.
Thank goodness for that. Though I wouldn't blame you if you did. I've been horrible to you since the whole war started.
It's all right. You're not angry with me. You're angry with the world. You're just taking it out on me.
You don't half sound like Gladys sometimes.
Look, I'm sorry that I told Gladys about you. But I know she'd never say anything to anyone. And she's different herself, so I thought it would be all right. Honest, I did.
I know. I do understand why you told her. I apologise as well. I shouldn't have been so angry with you.
All right. Friends again. Oh, I missed you.
I miss you. You were wonderful just now, by the way.
Well, I'll come with you, protect you from any more mad women. Honestly, we should be sticking together in times like these, not causing more problems.
It will be nice to have someone to talk to.
You not heard from him yet?
Oh, no. All these letters, not a single one from him.
He'll be fine. But he'll be great out there. He's awfully sporty. I mean, he's the best football player in the village. That's got to count for something.
Yes, I'm sure that dodging players on a village green is just the same as dodging bullets on a French field.
Oh, don't. I'm trying to make things better.
Of course you are. Sorry.
I do have some good news, though. I might get a job.
You have a job? What's wrong with the house?
Well, I don't want to scrub floors for the rest of my life. And there's a lot more jobs now the men have gone. I want to try something new. I thought most of the exciting jobs are in the cities, but there's the farms. I'd get to be outside instead of stuck in the house all day. I can pick the fruit or look after the animals. I think I'd like that.
Maeve on a farm. You know, I can see that. If you can chase off women like that, you'll have no trouble with sheep and pigs and the like. You're quite fearless.
I heard Mr. Lewis is looking for workers. All his farmhands signed up.
Mr. Lewis? Yes, no, he's a good choice. The farm is rather isolated, though. You'd have to walk a few miles.
You know him?
Well, I deliver his post, of course. He offers me tea or a spot of lunch, and we spend some minutes, a few hours, sometimes. A good man. I enjoy our talks, yeah. I do think he'd be a good person to work with.
Come with me then. Put in a good word.
I'll do whatever I can to help you.
Scene 7. Maeve and Ernie approach Mr. Lewis's farm.
Right. You better let me do the talking.
You're only supposed to be putting in a good word, Ernie.
Yes, but I've applied for work before, and I think I'm rather better placed.
So have I.
It's not the same. Women are expected to work as servants and such like. Women as farm labourers, it's different. You can't stroll up to Mr. Lewis and say, give me a job. The world doesn't work like that. It's better if I'm here to mediate, man to man.
Give me a job. As if I would. You have some manners. Perhaps the world should work like that. Gladys says there are women doing all sorts of things in London.
Yeah, to each other, I presume. Besides, we're not in London, we're here.
Oh, I don't mean I should have less opportunities just because we're up north.
It doesn't mean, and that's not what I was referring to. I meant that we've arrived. We're here. This is George's farm, Mr. Lewis's farm.
It's very
Muddy. Yes, come on.
Ernie climbs over the fence and holds a hand out to steady Maeve. She ignores it and climbs over herself.
He's usually over by the pigs this time of day.
You know a lot about it. How often do you have these chats?
It's not like that. He's kind as all. He's the only person here, well, apart from yourself, who's talked to me.
All right. Just don't know why you're keeping this friendship a secret.
Not a secret. Just that I don't tell you everything.
Well, that's no way to speak to your future wife.
Maeve, please, there's nothing going on between me and... Oh, George.
Mr. Lewis enters and gives Ernie a friendly pat on the back. He holds his hand out to Maeve, who shakes it with a little too much enthusiasm.
How do? See?
No, not today. I'm here on different business. I'm here on behalf of my good friend, Miss Collins.
Nice to meet you.
Oh, so you're the one we've heard stories about.
We've come to ask something of you. We know your labourers signed up for the war, and that's what you're looking for extra help. Now, I know it's unconventional, but we are living in unconventional times. Maeve here has heard all about the work that women are doing in the cities, and doing fine jobs of it too. She wanted to do her bit by taking on a man's job, and we were hoping, if it's not too presumptuous...
If the lady wants a job, shouldn't it be the lady that asks for it?
That's what I said. Look, you need help. I want to help. It's simple. Give me a job.
Maeve,
How direct.
I do apologise. Maeve, what did we say about your manners?
Shush, Ernie, you're ruining my chances. I'm trying to speak to Mr. Lewis.
Miss Collins, wasn't it? What experience have you got to help me on my farm?
Well, I like being outdoors and I like animals.
I see.
Maeve here has already been employed as a domestic servant since completing her schooling, with good grades, by the by, where she has proved her reliability, trustworthiness, and hard work. Maeve will bring her boundless passion and energy to whatever task is asked of her. She will be a credit to you and your farm, and will prove herself almost as strong as most men.
Well, thank you, Ernie. I do believe Miss Collins was speaking.
Well, all what you just said. And I haven't had a chance to do things like this before, so I don't have experience, but I want to learn. And I'll try hard. Honest, I will. I just want to do something different. I don't want to be stuck indoors all the time, cleaning and washing. It's so boring.
Oh, God.
What an interesting situation, Miss Collins.
Call me Maeve.
As you insist. And if I'm to be your boss, you can call me Mr. Lewis.
Will you be my boss?
We'll see, shall we? Tomorrow. Be here for 6 in the morning. If you're any good, I'll take you on.
Scene 8. Gladys's bedroom. Mrs. Rothschild enters.
What's this? An evening without your hobby.
Don't speak of her like that.
And yet you know who I mean. Why not name a thing as it is?
Gladys moves to leave. Mrs. Rothschild catches her arm to stop her.
We're returning to London.
What? When?
Soon.
How?
Your father's up for a promotion.
And we'll return to London if he gets it?
That's where it's positioned. Darling, we can go home.
When is he likely to hear?
It's expected to be in the next few months.
Months?
Bureaucracy does slow everything down. I thought I'd tell you now, so you have time to get your affairs in order.
They're inviting all of us back.
Exceptions can be made, apparently. It wouldn't do for him to have a criminal daughter, you see. They're prepared to wipe your record clean.
At what catch?
Must there be a catch?
But it's too good to be true.
Sometimes things work out, even in times like these. We all know you hate it here. It's so dull. There's nothing to entertain a young socialite like yourself. Let's think on some positive news at last.
Oh, I never thought. Returning home. It'll take some convincing for me. But if I plant the idea in her mind, I'm sure she'll agree.
You don't mean to bring her to London?
Of course I do.
Perhaps you'll be so busy with her it keeps you out of trouble.
You aren't going to fight me on this? Oh, it really is too good to be true. What's going on?
Anne, I know we have our differences, but you're still my daughter. We nearly lost you once, and I don't wish to go through that again. Now, will you stop questioning me and say you'll return with us?
Of course I will. It's London. It's home.
Scene 9. Mr. Lewis's farm. Mr. Lewis, Maeve, and Emily each milk a cow.
Finished! I did it! I won!
Not bad, you've got a knack for it.
Is that it? I can leave early.
First to milk, 10 cows gets to leave early.
You said 8 cows.
Clumsy, I meant 10.
Oh, you're having us on. Next it'll be 11, 12, 13.
Well, if the work needs doing.
We should protest. Come on, Emily, let's rise up. Poor treatment of workers. We won't work under a manager who lies to us.
We won't work at all if you keep up like this.
Not lighten up. He knows I'm joking.
The door's always open if you want to go.
Someone's got to stick around and make sure you don't take advantage of poor Emily or any other woman you're taking on. Nah, I think it's best I say
When you ask your friends who wants to work, Emily, make sure that they're nice and quiet, not like Maeve here, won't you?
With pleasure.
Hello?
You two keep at it.
Ernie enters. Mr. Lewis leaves Maeve and Emily to join Ernie. Maeve and Emily continue to work in the background while Mr. Lewis and Ernie talk.
Good afternoon.
Afternoon? Barely. You get here earlier every day.
Well, I've heard there's a friendly farmer who'll lend an ear if he has the time.
Oh, did you know?
But it's a very long walk to get here, and now I'm a little thirsty, you see.
No, I'm sure. And here I was thinking you were going out your way to visit a friend instead of begging for tea.
Oh, I wouldn't call it begging.
You got a long way of asking for things. If you want something, just say.
Well, I would be delighted to share a tea with you, if that's what you like. You're the one who mentioned it, so I can only assume it's on your mind.
Come on. You know, people think that you're all manners. They'd be shocked to see you almost stealing from a man's own kitchen.
I've shocked them enough already.
Have you done something scandalous? I wouldn't think you're capable.
I'm still here, aren't I? The shame of the village. Do you know, I think they hate me just as much as they hate the Germans.
Ah, well, people are fools. Don't listen to them. You've every right to stay here.
I'm glad you think so.
I'm here if you need to escape from them.
You know, I used to think that this place was a little too isolated, but now it's the perfect place to get away from it all.
And here I was thinking you were here for me, not me farm.
The company is the best part, of course.
Ooh, flattery.
It's so nice to be surrounded by animals instead of people for a change. Animals don't judge.
Well, I prefer cows to people any day.
Oh, well, in that case, I'll consider myself lucky that you speak to me at all. You don't really prefer cows.
Did I ever tell you why I moved here?
No, I don't believe so.
Sort of similar situation to you. I did something people didn't like and they chased me away.
Whatever did you do? You're not some sort of ruffian. If you have a secret criminal past, you've hidden it remarkably well.
No, I fell in love with someone that I shouldn't have.
And the poor lady in question had a gentleman friend that frightened you off, I suppose. I shall warn Maeve to be on her guard at once.
No, not quite. You and Maeve, you're...
Maeve, she's my closest friend.
Oh, she talks as if you'll marry.
I suppose.
If you don't want to, it's best to tell her.
No, it's not that I don't want to. It's not something I can explain.
I think I'd understand.
We should probably go back. Has she finished for the day?
Well, I haven't made the tea yet.
Oh, so you did want one.
Ernie,
Have
I upset you?
No, I'm just not feeling too well. It's best if I go home.
Ernie, listen, I do value our friendship, and I didn't mean any offence. You really are welcome here any time, not just when you're working. I'm not too proud to admit that I enjoy having you around.
Thank you. What a kind thing to say. I enjoy our talks too. But for now, I have a Maeve to walk home.
Ernie and Mr. Lewis start back across the stage. Maeve and Ernie talk as they work.
What's up with you?
Your talk of protesting and that. It's not funny. I need this job.
I'm just trying to lighten the mood.
My brother died. My sisters are too young to work, and my mum's relying on me to provide for the family. This isn't some joke, Maeve. You need to take it seriously.
I do take it seriously.
No, you don't. You pretend like it's some holiday. Without this, I'd be begging for scraps, trying to scrape together for my mum's medicine. But you'd be fine. You'd still be fooling around with that shirker.
Don't call him that.
That's what he is. He ought to be ashamed, strolling around without a care in the world while the rest of us are being worked to the bone. And my brother, he died so that people like him can stay home and paint.
He's never done anything to you.
What kind of a man lets his woman do work like this while he goes around delivering letters?
And why shouldn't we do work like this?
If he were any sort of decent man, he'd want to do his duty. He'd want to do the right thing. Don't you think we're right to fight?
Yes, of course we are.
Don't you want to win?
Of course I do.
We'll never win if we don't have enough men. If the men we have stay home and drink tea while the Germans are getting closer, is that what's going to help us win this war?
No, but...
Everyone should help. We should work together as a country. We're only going to win if everyone does their bit. And he isn't, is he? What has he done for the war effort? Anything at all?
He doesn't want to fight. He doesn't like that sort of thing. He'd never use a weapon.
He could do something. He could carry the stretchers or build railways or do something useful instead of just clinging to a job that a boy could do, that a woman could do. You're all about women working these days. He could give a woman the chance of delivering the post and earning a wage while he does something for the war. If everyone helps, we'll win the war quicker and the rest of them can just come home. No one else will have to die. You're never quiet. You're not answering back because you know I'm right.
You're all in my head.
Mr. Lewis and Ernie arrive outside the barn. Maeve and Emily are working.
Maeve?
If he cares about you like he should, he'll listen to you. Convince him to do something before the whole village hates him.
Don't they already?
There's still time for him to fix his reputation. To show that he's more than just a coward.
Are you ready?
Scene 10, Maeve's bedroom. Maeve prepares for bed. Gladys enters in her nurse's uniform, worn out.
Sorry I'm late. Awful day. I can't wait for this whole bloody war to be over. Can you believe it's only been a year?
The fastest year of my life.
Distract me. How was your day?
Oh, brilliant. Mr. Lewis has given me more responsibility, with it being nearly harvest. Now that Lucy's joined the team, he asked me to train her up, if she'll listen to me. They're still going on about Ernie. I'm getting right sick of it. And the worst thing is I'm starting to think that they're right.
How so?
They keep saying that Ernie should support the war. He should, shouldn't he? Like, he shouldn't be fighting or nothing like that, but he could do something, like help build the roads or whatever, or even on the farms. But everyone should do their bit, shouldn't they?
Well, that's up to him.
The quicker everyone helps, the quicker it'll all be over and the men can come home.
But if nobody supported the war wouldn't exist. There'd be no armies if the men refused to fight. There would be no bombs or bullets if the factories don't make them. Perhaps refusing to join is the only way to end it.
It still happened. Germany attacked places and ignoring it won't do no good. People need our help. If we didn't do anything, then we're leaving them to die.
Can we change the subject? I'm so utterly sick of talking about the war.
All right. But I'm right, though.
I'm sorry that you're having a tough time at work. You really like the farm, don't you?
I love it. I feel like, it sounds stupid, but it feels like I really belong there.
Would you ever consider moving?
Where would I go? This is my home.
There are other places out there. What if there was an opportunity to come away with me?
You mean like an holiday? Me and Ernie like Scarborough. You've never been, have you? But when I get my wages next week, I could probably afford the rail fare. I could treat you for a change. Though it won't be the same since the bombing.
I was thinking more of a city. Say if something happened and I had to return to London. Wouldn't you come with me?
No, I'd convince you to stay. One day, Gladys, you'll finally like it here. I promise.
Gladys paces the room, agitated. Maeve stops Gladys by putting her arms around her. Gladys turns it into a kiss.
Dad's downstairs.
You can be quiet.
They kiss again. Gladys slips a hand under Maeve's nightdress. Mr. Collins enters. Maeve and Gladys jump apart.
Dad!
What are you doing?
Mr. Collins, I can explain.
No, I don't know how young women behave in London, Miss Rothschild, but that's not how we act here. Get out.
I care very greatly for your daughter.
If I see you near Maeve again, I will call the police.
Dad, don't!
That would implicate Maeve also, and I'm sure you don't wish to harm
I'll
her.
tell them that you influenced her. You forced her.
That's not true. You tell the police she forced me, and I'll tell them the truth. That I love Gladys, and nobody forced me to do anything.
Mr. Collins, please, I would never hurt your daughter.
Then don't come near her again. You think what you're doing isn't hurting her reputation, her soul?
Dad, stop it.
I mean it. The police.
I will not leave until I'm sure that she's safe.
Safe? You're the one who's putting her in danger. She's safer here than with you. If you're not gone within the next 3 seconds, I'll be alerting the authorities. 1. 2.
Maybe you should go. Go on, I'll be all right.
You're sure?
They clasp hands briefly. Gladys exits.
Why can't you listen?
What the hell are you doing?
Look, I'm sorry I lied to you, but it was safer to keep it secret.
Lied? How long's this been going on?
A few years.
Years, Christ. What are we going to do?
The only thing you need to do is calm down.
It's wrong, Maeve!
Love isn't wrong.
Women can't love each other. She's taking advantage. Whatever she's telling you, do not trust her.
It isn't like that.
It's time you grew up. Find a husband, start living like a woman should.
I'm to marry Ernie.
And has he proposed?
He will.
Oh, that boy has had years to do right by you, and it's clear that you're fond of each other. Anyone can see that, but he is not right for you.
Of course he is. But you like Ernie.
All them rumours. I thought it was him that... Instead, it's you. And now, he's a shirker on top of all that. No, he's not suitable. I should have fixed this years ago.
There's nothing to fix. I'll make sure Ernie proposes soon, if that's what you want. But it won't stop me loving Gladys.
You have no idea what you're doing. It's not love, Maeve. It's sin. And if you marry Ernie, your reputation will be as bad as his. You're destroying yourself.
Don't you want me to be happy?
Of course I do. But life isn't a game, Maeve. You can't keep playing.
I'm not playing. What I have with Gladys is serious. It is the most serious I've been about anything.
A husband and children and keeping a nice home. That's what's supposed to make you happy.
Ernie is the only husband that would make me happy. And if you try and make me marry someone else, I will tell the whole village about me and Gladys. I'll kiss her on the green.
Then you'll bring shame on the whole family. You'll get yourself locked up.
Rather that than be forced to marry someone I don't want. The marriage would be more like prison than any institution.
No, don't say it like that.
It would. Can't you see that, Dad? Please.
If you're not married by this time next year, I'll find someone myself. And if I see her anywhere near you again, I'll be calling the police immediately. I mean it, Maeve. Keep away from her.
Scene 11. Ernie approaches Gladys's house, letter in hand. Gladys steps out before he has the chance to knock. An awkward moment as they almost bump into each other. Ernie's manners kick in and he steps back to make way for her.
Is that for us?
I don't know. It's the wrong name. Do you have a guest? This is for an Anne, but your address.
I'll take it.
I can't give you someone else's post. These are rules for this sort of thing.
It's fine, I know her.
Gladys reaches out to take the letter, but Ernie keeps it close to his chest. He looks around and lowers his voice.
You aren't having an affair.
You really are absurd. I need to get to work. I don't have time for this.
You're avoiding the question.
It's not the question I'm avoiding.
We need to talk.
I'm not having an affair. You know who I love, and I wouldn't hurt her like that. Now leave me be.
But you have hurt her. She told me what happened with her father.
That's not your business.
Of course it is. You could damage her reputation, you know. Do you have any idea how dangerous it would be for Maeve if people knew? It's all right for you. You can leave off for London if you need to, but Maeve...
If I return to London, I would take Maeve with me.
This is her home.
It would be better for her there. It's easier in the cities. She could be part of a community.
She's already part of a community.
One that would imprison her if they knew. Or commit her to an institution. Or try to change her. She's perfect as she is. She doesn't need to change.
I love her too, you know. I'm trying to protect her.
And we agree on something at last. I'm not what she needs protecting from. I'm sure she's told you that we're being more discreet. We're not seeing each other so often. I'm looking out for her the best I can. You don't need to worry that I'll put her at any more risk.
Good. Well, good. I'm glad you're taking this seriously.
Of course. Now give me my letter.
Your letter?
You know, well, you know I was ill when I arrived here. You know I was involved with the suffragettes in London. I'm sure you can work it out. Someone must have forgotten my alias.
The cat and mouse act. That's why you moved here. You're hiding.
You keep it down.
You can't tell me you're putting Maeve at risk and reveal something like that.
It's not so dramatic as that.
What if they catch you?
They won't. We're much too far away. We've managed a few years and they're too busy with the war to bother with me now.
I knew you were hiding something. It didn't make sense you staying here when you ate it so much.
I stayed for Maeve. Wasn't that obvious? I could have left when my health returned. There's the whole of the rest of the country to hide in. But I met her.
Oh. You really do love her then?
We all have our secrets. So let's make our lives easier and call it a truce.
Ernie holds out the letter for Gladys, a peace offering. She takes it. Scene 12, Mr. Lewis's farm. Maeve, Emily, Lucy, and Mr. Lewis scatter feed.
It's about time they did it. He can get out of it now.
Stop it.
He can make himself useful at last.
Winters, Miss Smith, could you fetch the rest of the feed?
Lucy and Emily move away but remain in the background.
What do you think?
I think there are better ways of going about it.
Do you think he should go?
I think it should be up to him, don't you?
Ernie enters, flustered, still with his post-Sacken uniform.
I need to talk to Maeve, please, quite urgently. Could I have a word with her alone?
Mr. Lewis gestures for them to go ahead. Ernie pulls Maeve to one side.
Conscription. They've introduced bloody conscription.
I know, it's all everyone's talking about.
I don't want to go. I don't want to go. What about Mother?
She can look after herself. She's not that old, and I'll make sure she's all right.
They'll leave everything behind to be shot at.
Maeve takes a newspaper from Ernie's sack and starts scanning over it.
Ernie, look.
No. You should read my father's letters. It's horrific, the way he describes it. The butchering of people, the camps they put them in, the sickness, the death. I won't do it. It's wrong. War, it's barbaric.
Perhaps you can do something else, but you don't have to fight. You could be a messenger or carry stretchers or something.
Maeve, please. Wouldn't last 2 weeks in a place like that. Everyone knows the stretcher bearers and the messenger boys have it far worse than the soldiers. They're right on the front lines. If they send me out there, they're sending me to my death.
All right. Look, I do think you should do something to help, Ernie. Really, I do. But I don't want you out where it's dangerous. I still want you safe. So, it's unmarried men, it says here. It's conscription for unmarried men only.
Maeve.
No, I mean, we should... Dad wants us to get married soon. Let's do it, Ernie. And we said we will forever. It'll save you from conscription and me from Dad making me marry someone else.
Marriage? Are you sure?
Propose to me. Right now.
Goodness. Isn't it supposed to be romantic?
On your knees. I'm only going to be proposed to once and I want you to do it properly.
Are you really sure? Because once we do this, we can't go back.
Maeve gets on one knee, throwing the newspaper behind her. Mr. Lewis, Lucy, and Emily watch.
Ernest Hartley.
You really are putting me to shame. Get up, will you? People are watching.
It's only the girls. Oh, and Mr. Lewis.
This is the rest of your life, Maeve.
And this is how I want to spend it. It's the best thing for both of us. It's the only way either of us can do what we want. Don't you think?
Ernie drops down to one knee, taking Maeve's hand in his.
Maeve Collins, will you do me the honour of becoming my wife?
Is that it? You're supposed to be good with words, Ernie. Come on.
You're enjoying this too much.
This is supposed to be one of the happiest moments of my life. Put more effort in.
All right. Look, I love you very much, and it really would be wonderful to spend the rest of my life with you. And if I can't be the husband I'm supposed to be, well, at least I'll try my damned hardest to look after you and do right by you. I will never, ever let you down, Maeve. And I'll do my best to give you a good life. And that's the truth of it.
Ernie, I love you too.
Maeve pulls Ernie up and into a hug.
Is that it then?
We're engaged.
You haven't said yes?
Yes, of course, yes.
I suppose the congratulations are in order.
Yeah, take the rest of the day off, won't you?
Yeah.
In fact, you can all go home. Tell the rest of the women to finish off. We'll need something doing to celebrate these dark times.
Ernie and Maeve hurry off. Mr. Lewis picks up the newspaper Maeve left behind and becomes increasingly unhappy as he scans the front page. Scene 13. On one side of the stage, Ernie dresses in his father's suit. On the other, Maeve gets into her mother's wedding dress. Mrs. Hartley enters Ernie's side of the stage.
Oh, don't you look handsome? Oh, your father was more broad-shouldered than you. I should have taken it in. Hold still.
He pulls out a sewing kit and starts to pin the suit.
How are you feeling?
Nervous, but I suppose it's natural before a wedding.
It's not too late to call it off.
Mother, you can't say such things.
Well, it'd be all right if you did, you know. This engagement has been very rushed and it's easy to feel pressured into something.
Where's all this coming from? Don't you want me to marry Maeve?
I want what's best for both of you. I want Maeve to have a good husband and I want you to be happy. I know that John Wilkes is very dear to you.
Mother.
It's all right, Ernie. I'm your mother, and sometimes a mother just knows these things.
Ernie and Mrs. Hartley freeze. Gladys enters Maeve's side of the stage.
You look beautiful.
Gladys,
I've missed you.
I've missed you. Things will be easier from now on.
Do you think?
I'm moving out of Dad's, so we don't have to worry about him so much. We just need to be careful around Ethel. But she's out of the house so often. You'll be able to come over a lot more.
How nice that will be, to finally have some time.
Maeve kisses Gladys.
Where are your bridesmaids?
Not many women want to help with the wedding of someone who won't sign up.
It's a good thing I'm here then. Let me help you with your hair. How would you like it?
I wanted it sort of sophisticated. Sarah was supposed to be doing it, but she refused to be involved if I was marrying a country. How ridiculous.
I'll have to have a word with her. You're not getting any last-minute cold feet? It's perfectly all right if you are, you know.
No, of course not. It's Ernie. He'll look after me. Oh, I'll look after him, more like.
He's a very lucky man.
You're not upset that I'm marrying him, are you?
I'm terribly jealous.
Gladys, it's the only way.
I know. I just wish it could be me up there making those promises to you.
Then let's make them now.
Maeve and Gladys freeze. Back to Ernie and Mrs. Hartley.
How long have you known?
A while. Ernie, about this wedding. When I was pregnant and Mrs. Collins was pregnant, it bands you together. You see, going through that at the same time. And we used to hope that our children would grow up to be good friends, like we were. And when Mrs. Collins died with Maeve so young, I vowed to do all I could for her. I watched that girl grow up, Ernie. I've helped raise her. She's a daughter to me already.
I know. And she loves you very much for it.
And that's why I want what's best for her. She deserves to have a husband that truly loves her. You need to think on what's right for her.
She knows. She knows about me and about John. I'm not hiding anything from her. This is what she wants. I think she wants it more than I do.
Well, that does change things. As long as you take care of each other.
We will. We always have. You know, I don't imagine it'll be so different as it always has been.
I'm very happy for you. You know, I'm very proud.
That means the world to me. And this John business, thank you for understanding.
Some people have different natures is all. They can't help it. But you're my son, and I love you.
Mrs. Hartley holds Ernie to her for a few seconds, then she exits. Ernie does a final check of how he looks before also exiting. Gladys gestures to the empty room around herself and Maeve.
Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today.
Don't make fun, I mean it.
Maeve gets down on one knee in front of Gladys. Gladys, touched, nods. She reaches out and takes Maeve's hand, pulling her up to stand.
I don't remember all the words.
Do you, Maeve Collins, take me, Anne Carisbrook?
Your real name?
Oh, I want this to be as real as possible.
Maeve leans forward to kiss Gladys.
We haven't got to that part yet. Do you take me to be your unlawfully wedded wife? To have and to hold?
For better or worse?
In sickness and in health?
For richer or poorer?
To cherish until death do us part.
I do.
I do too.
They kiss again.
I should let you go.
Don't.
You've an aisle to walk down. I won't make you late and embroil you in scandal. Any more scandal, anyhow.
I'll see you later.
Of course. I'm not going to miss the wedding night.
Gladys exits. Maeve finishes getting ready. Ernie enters Maeve's side of the stage but keeps his distance and doesn't look at her.
Maeve!
Ernie, you can't be here. The groom can't see the bride before the wedding.
No, I'm not looking.
You'll bring us bad luck. What do you want?
Look, are you quite sure about this?
Oh, Ernie, we've been over this.
Well, I'll understand if you change your mind. You are under no obligation, at least certainly not from me.
I'm not changing my mind. You better not be changing yours.
Aren't you scared?
No. Are you?
No,
You don't need to lie to me.
I'm not. And I'm not scared. I'm a man, remember? We're incredibly tough and stoic. I hardly know what fear is.
Ernie,
I'm terrified.
what are you scared of?
I'm scared of letting you down. I'm scared of letting your mother down. I'm scared of angering your father. I'm scared of not being a good enough husband for you.
Ernie, you are the best husband I could wish for.
You don't need to be so kind. I know you're doing this to help me. And I do appreciate it ever so much.
Doing it to help you. Doing it to help myself, more like. It does have the benefit of getting you out of the war, of course. But I've got to get married at some point. And you really are the only man I'd want to marry.
I can't think why. I'm hardly a traditional husband.
But that's exactly why. Think about it. If I married any other man, he'd expect me to stay at home and clean every day. My life would be so dull. But you know I love my work and won't make me stop it. You'll understand if I don't get back in time to cook dinner. You won't expect me to, have marital relations with you.
Oh, Maeve, please, I'm already feeling sick.
Any other man might force me to, even though I don't want it. And you know about Gladys. No, Ernie, you are my best option by far. You think I'm saving you? I think you're the one saving me.
Well, when you put it like that. And I wouldn't marry any other woman, you know, not just because of the marital relations, dear God, but because I love you very dearly, and I do hope you know that. I'm just sorry that I can't love you in the way that I should.
Don't be. I wouldn't want you to. Come here.
Maeve hugs Ernie.
No, you'll give us bad luck.
The normal rules don't apply to us.
Let's hope not. You look beautiful. I really am very lucky.
Let's stop being so soppy. Come on. We have a wedding to get to.
Maeve and Ernie take a breath and prepare themselves, then exit to their ceremony. End of Act 1.
Fab. Well done, everyone. We'll take a 5-minute break now, so we'll be back at about 7 minutes past 8. We'll see you then. Thank you very much. Welcome back for the second half of Great Wars.
Two, scene one. Mr. Lewis's farm. Maeve feeds a calf from a bottle. Mr. Lewis approaches.
You'll be feeding your own soon, I suppose.
What? Ernie and I have no plans to get cows.
You mean children, nursing your own young.
I think any future children is no one's business but ours.
Message received.
Sorry, I'm sick of hearing about children. It's all anyone asks about when you're married.
Heard some of the other women talking. Is that why you've been taking so much time off work?
They won't stop going on about it. And the rest. I need a break from them sometimes.
You told me if something's happening on my farm, I need to know about it.
I can handle them.
Turning up isn't handling it. And I need you here if you're going to be my new general manager.
General manager?
My right-hand man. Woman. You're proving yourself reliable, except the recent absences, and plenty capable.
Oh, Mr. Lewis, I'd love it.
You're proving yourself, Maeve. You just keep going, girl. Keep at it. We'll discuss your new position later.
New position.
General manager. Your manager, in fact. So I'd be careful what you say.
You know that married women shouldn't be working. You've got a job already, looking after your house and husband. Mr. Lewis is too kind to send you home, but we know what's right and wrong.
You should leave the work to the single women and the widows. We need it more than you. You've a husband to provide for you. We need to put food on the table.
If you had a normal husband, he'd put a stop to it.
He is normal. You leave him alone.
He's soft, your Ernie. You know what the rumours are. And he's a shirker.
I heard you haven't consummated your marriage yet. It's not a real marriage if you haven't.
Of course, it's a real marriage.
Oh, not according to the law.
No wonder she likes nursing babes so much. He's never going to give her children if he...
You just stop it now. Times like these, we should be helping each other. We've all got a good opportunity here. Why can't we enjoy it? You should be ashamed going on like that. Leave me alone. We've all got bigger problems to worry about.
We can report him, you know.
What for?
The sodomite who refuses his duty.
Don't you call him that?
We won't, of course, if you resign. We'll forget all about it. Forget all the rumours we've heard.
You're blackmailing me.
We asked you to leave, and you're still here.
Why are you doing this? Me and Ernie never did anything to you.
You've never acted like a woman, and he's not acting like a man. It's strange. We don't like it. You'll bring the devil on us.
This is ridiculous.
You leave here, or he signs up. Either one, and we'll not report him.
You really are blackmailing me.
We've said what we have to. I'm sure you'll do what you have to, if you know what's good for you.
Goodbye, Maeve.
Scene 2. Maeve sits in Ernie's living room trying to sew the shirt John gave to Ernie. She is surrounded by laundry.
Bitch!
Ernie throws his post sack across the room. Maeve, startled, puts the shirt aside.
Ernie? What's wrong?
Conscription.
Conscription?
They've introduced conscription for married men.
Oh, Ernie.
How could they? This government has no morality. I don't know what they're thinking. There'll be no one left. They can't expect every man in England to up and leave. It's ridiculous.
It's the war. We've all got to do our bit.
You think I should go?
That's not what I said.
It's what you think, though, isn't it? You started saying it. I should go and do something.
I'm sorry, Ernie, but if it's conscription, won't you have to go? We've already married. What else can we do?
No, I'll fight it. I'll sign up officially as an objector.
Will it really be all that bad?
You know what happened in the last war.
It's different.
Is it so different? It's not like the newspapers report that sort of thing. forcing women and children into camps, raping, pillaging, burning homes to the ground. My father was a good man, and he was killed, murdered by the officers who were supposed to protect him for standing up for what's right. South Africa was the worst thing that ever happened to him. I won't be part of the army when the actions of its men are so reprehensible.
And it's the other way around. That is what the Germans are doing to France and Belgium and that. You'd be going over there to protect the women and children and all the innocent people, to stop the Germans from coming over here and doing that to us. The army isn't an evil thing, Ernie. It is here to protect us, not to hurt people.
It protects us by hurting people, Maeve. It's just that those people live in other countries, so we can pretend it's noble.
It's impossible to talk to sometimes.
Oh, I'm impossible. How many times have we had this conversation? I can't believe you're trying to get rid of me. Married 2 months and you're already sick of me.
I'm not sick of you. And I am not getting rid of you. I want you by my side and listen to my talking and tell me stories. I also want us to win this war. And to win, we need men.
Even if they don't want to go. We used to have choices for our futures.
A choice for the future. Imagine that.
All right, don't give me one of Gladys's lectures.
It's my thinking, not hers. All my life, there was only one option. You grow up and you get married and you have babies. Look after your husband and house and children until you die. I've got choices now. Maybe that's the thing with war. It turns things around. Men have less choices and women have more.
Look at you. You'd go, wouldn't you, if you were a man? You would have signed up with John.
Probably, but I'm not. I understand why you don't want to go, but it's a different war to your dad. What happened to him, it won't be the same. And you can be in the same regiment as John and all the others. The what's it called?
Hal's battalions.
That's it. They're good, aren't they? You'll be with everyone you know. Maybe it's not so bad as you think.
I can't tell if you genuinely believe that or if you're trying to make me feel better. Have you really swallowed the propaganda?
I don't know what to think anymore. You say one thing and everyone else says another. They're treating us both so horrible. Most of the time, people won't talk to me unless it's to tell me off for marrying you. I can't go anywhere without someone saying what a coward you are and I'm wrong to support you.
They've worn you down.
Everybody hates us. I love you, Ernie, and I'd miss you so much. But if you have to go, there's positives. It won't all be so terrible. We'll write. You'll have good food and that, a good wage, better than what we have here. And the others, they were training for ages before they left England. By the time you've gone through all that, we might have won already. You might not even have to go out there at all.
Right, stop there, trying to convince me.
Maybe it is the right thing. Because everyone else thinks it is, and they can't all be wrong, can they?
All right, I said.
Or how can everyone we all know be wrong?
I don't wish to argue.
But you'll think about it.
Christ, Maeve.
You don't even have to fight. I don't want you hurt. But you'd be helping people, helping us win. It might even be safer for you out there than it is here, how it is these days.
How can running across no man's land be safer than home?
People talk.
Oh, they've always talked. Don't try and blame other people for the fact that you support the war and now you're trying to convince me to support it too. Whatever happened to needing me here? You know better than the rest of them.
Don't say that. I am trying to help.
How is this helping?
They said they'd tell the police you're a sodomite if you don't sign up.
What? Who did?
At work. The girls, they threatened you.
They really hate me that much.
I don't want you in prison, Ernie. The things they do to men like you and the COs, they are horrible stories. You'd be better off out there in the army with the others. I really think you would be. You always said I'd get you in prison. And I'm trying to stop that. I'm trying to stop you being in prison. Can't you see?
Yes, all right. But it's not like I have many options, is it?
Just want you safe. You'll be looked after better out there, won't you, than in prison?
Yeah, perhaps. My chance of survival is horribly low.
Maeve starts to cry. Ernie comforts her.
Look at us. All of this was for nothing.
What was?
Our marriage. It didn't save me from conscription at all. All it's done is make everyone horrible to you too. Married only 2 months, Christ.
Not for nothing. Not for nothing, Ernie. We've still got the rest of our lives when you come back. It'll only be a year or 2.
That's very hopeful. The army or prison. Maybe it is the better of 2 evils. No more escaping it. God, why can't I be an asthmatic or short-sighted or something?
You'll be all right. We'll get through it, like we always do.
Maeve pulls Ernie into a long hug. She kisses his forehead.
We'll be all right.
Scene 3. Ernie fusses around the space, making sure it's clean and tidy. A knock. Ernie answers and admits Mr. Lewis.
Oh, please do come in. Here, have a seat. Can I get you anything? Tea? We have cake somewhere. Maeve's in bacon. It's actually almost decent. She didn't burn it this time.
Is she in?
Oh, no, she's visiting a friend.
And your mother?
Out of the sewing circle.
So it's just the 2 of us then?
You, me, and the dreaded application.
There's something else that I wanted to speak to you about whilst we're in private, like.
Is everything all right?
I'll take it you know that Maeve's missed days off the farm recently.
Yeah, I'm so sorry about that. It really isn't like her. We've talked about it and she'll be back to normal next week.
Do you know what it's about?
Somewhat.
Something to do with what the other women have been saying.
Do you know what the other women are saying?
I heard some of them talking.
I see.
And I want you to know that I support her. It doesn't make any difference whether she's married or not. Her place on the farm is the same as it's always been.
That's a relief. Thank you.
And they've been saying some things as well about you.
Well, you should ignore them. War brings out the worst in everyone. We should probably get on with the application.
You want to talk about anything? You know you've got a friend in me, don't you?
Do you have the papers?
It's here somewhere. May have said you were thinking of signing up.
Well, now conscription's been extended. Don't have much choice. And they do come down awfully hard on those who apply for exemption. Not you, I'm sure. Farming is such a significant part of the war effort.
It's very comforting, thanks.
Mr. Lewis pulls out a crumpled piece of paper. He puts it on the table. Ernie can't help but smooth it out.
I thought you were doing it too, you see. Applying, it's one of the reasons I asked for your help. It'd be nice for us to do it together.
Maeve has rather confused me about it all. I don't want to make her position any worse or my mother's.
I should think you being alive is more important than her position.
Well, even if it's not important to her, it's important to me.
Do you want to go?
I want to do the right thing. I used to think I knew what that was, but I'm not so sure now.
I didn't have you down for a fighter.
What do you mean?
You're like cleaning and painting. You're more of a housewife than Maeve.
I do regret that you know that.
Maeve mentions all sorts.
She shouldn't. You think I'm soft.
No, I think you're wonderful as you are, and the circumstances of the world shouldn't force you to change.
Oh. Why aren't you going?
I don't want to.
Is that all?
Why should there be more? I've my land, I've my home and my community. I don't want to leave all that to get bullets in me in a country I've never even been to before. It's not right, killing. Them German boys, they're just farmers and bakers and paper boys like us. They've done no more wrong than you or me.
Very eloquent.
And you feel the same.
What I feel is my duty, and I feel it very keenly these days.
Stay.
I can't worsen Maeve's reputation.
Stay here with me.
And even if I did apply for exemption, I'd end up in prison, so I'd have to leave here anyway. It's rot in a trench or rot in a cell.
I can help. I want to help.
No, there's really nothing we can do at this point.
There's always something, Ernie.
I'd rather not speak of it anymore.
I'm trying to tell you.
Section 1. Name, that's easy enough.
We're not so different, you and me.
I'll leave you to complete your date of birth. Section 2, reason for exemption.
No, because they don't want pansies like me in the army.
Excuse me?
You heard. They don't want pansies like me in the army. Pufters, inverts, sodomites. You know what I'm talking about, so don't pretend. You can't be surprised. You didn't pick up on one of my hints.
Hints?
I must be terrible at flirting.
You've been flirting.
Christ.
But if you're threatening me as well...
Threaten? That's what you think?
I don't know what to think.
I'm sitting here saying I've feelings for you and you think it's a threat. I never did meet a more bleeding obvious...
Feelings?
I thought you were smart. You must have noticed. I called you wonderful a minute ago.
Well, yes, all right, a little bit, but I was never sure if you were teasing or...
Well, it was in part, but I also wanted to see if the rumours were true.
Bloody rumours. I don't know what I've done to make people believe.
What, the truth?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes, the truth, yes, yes.
And me?
I don't know. I never considered it a possibility.
I do know that you're married, and I admire Maeve, and I'd never do anything badly by her.
She knows about me.
I thought she might. That proposal.
My proposal made to a woman made you think I was this.
She forced you into it. No normal man would have proposed like that. Don't get me wrong, it were entertaining.
I'm glad my romantic life is a source of amusement for you.
But I'd like it to be a source of something for me.
George.
Do you want to try?
I can't.
There's no need to be scared. I know how to be discreet. If you've not been with a man before, I can show you.
No. Oh, no, I've experienced that. No, that's not what I mean.
There's someone else.
You didn't know? Well, I'm glad I was discreet about something.
From here? Who?
I don't want to share that information.
Is he at the front?
Please don't pry. It's not fair on him if I reveal.
Is that why you're going?
It's not why I'm going.
Isn't it?
I'm going for Maeve. I'm going because it's the best option I have.
I'm not so sure your intentions are pure.
We should get back to the application.
I'll take my leave.
Don't be like this. I can help you with your paperwork.
I don't need it. I'm a farm owner. My job's exempt. It's simple for farmers. They need us here, not there. It's a formality, this. They'll not send men like me out there.
Let me still...
Oh, I'll see you shortly, I'm sure.
Scene 4. Gladys sews some white feathers together. Mrs. Rothschild enters.
Your father's promotion came through.
What? Really?
The news just arrived. He'll be working more closely with the War Office. We'll be getting the last of our affairs in order and leaving by the end of the month.
End of the month? All that waiting and now so abrupt.
We'll be back in time for the Henley Regatta.
Gladys rushes forward to hug Mrs. Rothschild.
Oh, home at last. I'll start packing. I'll write to my friends. I'll introduce them to Maeve. And they're really clearing my record.
It's all been arranged. All you need to do is sign this.
Mrs. Rothschild hands Gladys a letter. Gladys scans it quickly.
What is it?
It's to regret your past actions.
I don't regret them.
Now, don't be difficult. Your father is in a very awkward position.
Actions driven by hysteria, and I hereby renounce all ties with the Women's Social and Political Union. It wasn't hysteria. It was the most clear-headed I've ever been. I certainly won't sever any ties with the movement.
Word is they've all disbanded anyway.
Then it's all the more important that those of us who still care keep up the effort.
Stop it. We are very lucky they're considering overturning your record. It's a rare opportunity for your father, and you will not ruin it.
An opportunity at my expense.
This isn't about you. It's your father's career. It's his life. It's my life too. He's worked so hard. You can't be this selfish.
Selfish? For standing by my beliefs. If I were a man, my courage and my convictions would go applauded, not criminalized. I won't sign this.
Then you won't go to London?
I'll go back anyway.
You'll be arrested. You know what situation you're in.
You knew this whole time. You knew what the catch was, didn't you? But you decided to let me think of returning home for so long. Did you think it would make me more desperate to return if I'd been hoping for months upon months? It's despicable.
Gladys tries to return the letter to Mrs. Rothschild, who won't take it.
You love London. You can have your old life back.
I can't, though. We can't ever go back to before, can we? As you said, the WSPU have mostly disbanded.
And thank goodness they have. With the suffragettes all but stopped, it'll be much easier for you to keep out of trouble.
We'll never be stopped until we get the vote, until we have fairer laws.
Now is not the time to be difficult. Your father had to pull a few strings for this. You should be thankful.
Yes, now. Now more than ever. Because if women could vote, this country would be in a much better position. We'd put a stop to all this destruction. We can make peace quicker than men ever could.
What, because the suffragette actions have been so peaceful? When we're back in London...
I'm not coming. Not if that's the price you demand of me.
Of course you are. What have you here? A hospital that works you to the bone? You don't owe them anything. Someone else will come on and fill your place. You've hated it here since the moment you arrived.
There are people here that I care about.
Your plaything. Miss Collins is hardly serious.
I'm more serious about her than I've been about anyone.
That's quite enough. It's not as if you can marry her. I don't know how much longer you think you can sustain this affair. She's a married woman now. You'll bring disgrace to her. Is that what you want?
Of course not. We're discreet.
Oh, not discreet enough. If you won't sign this letter, I'll sign it for you.
You'll do no such thing.
Gladys and Mrs. Rothschild grapple over the letter. Gladys manages to tear it.
You idiot! You stupid girl! Will you think about what you're doing?
I have thought. This is my decision.
We have tried so hard to do our best by you. And this is how you respond. I don't know what to do with you. You're trying your damned hardest to ruin us.
They have more important things to do these days than catch errant women, Mother. I dare say they'll barely notice if I return without signing my freedom away.
You won't be returning with us. You nearly destroyed our reputation once, and I will not let you do that to us again. I can't stop you taking risks with your own life, but I won't let you risk ours too.
So what now?
If you won't sign this and return with us, I'll see to it that you don't return at all. We'll stop the payments for the house too. If you're so determined to do what you like, then good luck with true independence. You'll soon come to your senses when you're living off your nursing wage.
So that's it then. I'm disowned.
Until you come to your senses.
My senses have never been more engaged.
Then don't think of using our family name again.
Scene 5. Maeve and Gladys are out for a walk. Both are agitated.
I don't know what to do about it. They're spreading all sorts of rumours.
People talk when they've nothing else to do. And goodness knows there's nothing else to do here. Don't rise to it. You're far above them.
But they really mean it. They're blackmailing me.
Blackmail?
If I don't leave the farm, they'll report Ernie. I thought they'd calm down once he signed up, but they're just as bad as ever. They won once and they think they can do it again.
Report him for what?
For being a sodomite. For not consummating the marriage. Everything.
Have they proof of any of those things?
Do they need it? You know what people are like. They come down hard on things like that. You always did say I'd get him in prison. And I can't do that to him. I won't let anyone take him.
I have the perfect solution.
I knew I could come to you.
Come away with me.
Away. Where? London?
No, not London, no. That's complicated with my past. And Mother has made it perfectly clear that I'm not to return with them. Not unless I formally renounce all ties with the suffragettes.
Oh, Gladys, what will you do?
Don't know yet. I can't stay here. They're stopping the payments and my wage won't cover a house like that. I'd have to move anyway, so why not go somewhere else? Let's go somewhere larger than this. Leeds, perhaps. Manchester, even.
What about Ernie?
Oh, must you always think of him before you think of me?
Something like that. I just can't leave him, especially now we're married. It's not right.
You said he was signing up. He'll be in France for a while, and you can come and do all sorts of exciting things with me while he's out there. You don't want to sit around waiting for him, not with the way people around here are treating you. And without Ernie, what else have you here? Oh, let's leave all these busybodies and blackmailing behind.
I like the farm. I don't want to let Mr. Lewis down.
There are farms everywhere, if that's what you want. And you can't think only of other people your whole life. You need to put yourself first. Do what you want. Mr. Lewis will be fine. There are several women already working for him.
I suppose.
You'd thrive in a city. I know you would. Oh, the world is so much bigger than this village, Maeve.
I know. Oh, and it's exciting, but it's scary.
I'll be there. We can help each other. It's the answer you need. It's no longer safe for you here, and we don't have anything tying us down. Not anymore. Not once Ernie's left. Let's get away from this place. It's bad for the both of us. There are so many more opportunities out there.
Do you think I could drive an ambulance? Or would it be much different to a tractor?
We'll find out, shall we? I'll ask my friends who are driving the ambulances if you like. They'll know.
Oh, would you?
Of course. I really do think it's the best thing. When we're away from here, all the comments and the gossip will disappear.
Then what about when Ernie comes back?
Oh, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it.
A city. You and me in a city. Oh, they're horribly cramped and dirty.
We can get a room on the outskirts where it's cleaner. I'll take you to the theatre and the pictures. It's not so unusual for women to live together in a city, you know. The factory girls often share lodgings. Nobody would think twice about it. We can have a proper life together instead of all this sneaking around.
You make it all sound so wonderful.
I wouldn't suggest it if I didn't think you would like it. You do know I have your best interest at heart, don't you? Everything you've tried in the last few years, you've been fabulous. I mean, look at you. You're wearing trousers after a day of farm labour. Who'd have thought? It's time for your next adventure. And if you really hate it, we can always come back. Promise you. If you hate it, we'll return. Let's give it a try.
The next adventure. Our next adventure. Yes. Yes, let's do it. Let's go to a city.
That's my girl. Stay over tonight. We'll tell Ernie in the morning.
Scene 6. Ernie, devastated, drinks at home. His post sack full of newspapers and telegrams is on the floor. He clutches a letter. A knock. Ernie tries to wipe the tears away and compose himself. He does a quick clean-up of the area, hiding the alcohol.
You finally learnt to knock.
Ernie?
Oh, I thought you were Maeve.
Well, it's dark in here.
Headache.
Drink can do that to you.
I'm not drinking.
Think I've not been drunk before. And there's the smell of it.
Can I help you? Now's not a good time.
No, I see that. Did my words affect you that much? I know I was short with you, but...
It's not to do with that. Perhaps we can talk tomorrow or some other such...
It's not even 10 o'clock.
I don't imagine you came here to lecture me so you can hold your tongue.
I came to apologise, actually. Storming out like that. I were hurt, but I don't want to sour things between us.
No, it's fine. But this really isn't a good...
Oh, it's Maeve not here.
I thought she was with you.
Right. Come with me. The air will do you good.
Mr. Lewis gets Ernie a glass of water and gives it to him. He notices the post sack.
Shouldn't they have been delivered? It's in there, isn't it? What's got you like this?
Mr. Lewis approaches the post sack. Ernie watches him. Mr. Lewis pulls out a stack of telegrams. He flicks through them, increasingly upset.
You should know. You'll need Maeve, you see. And the other women. You'll need them.
All of them.
Do you know how many men from our village signed up?
I don't.
27. Do you know how many telegrams I have? 23.
Are you sure that's what it means?
We all know what a telegram means. And it's only 23 because Fred Smith already died and Artie Williams is laid up in hospital. God knows where the other two poor souls are. Missing, probably. Strewn across the battlefield, unidentifiable from their limbs.
Where is it? Your drink.
It was a big offence, you see.
Your drink.
It was in the paper, you know, a great success, they called it. All goes well. Do you remember a few weeks ago? But the telegrams, they tell a different story. Do you know where the Somme is?
No.
All those lives for a place that we've never heard of. What success is there in that?
Mr. Lewis finds the drink. He takes a big swig and hands it to Ernie. Mr. Lewis settles back in the chair, sifting through the letters morosely.
Every one of my farmhands. Every one of them.
And more.
Good men. We should drink to them.
You know, I wonder if it's hit other villages like this. The towns, the cities. Is the whole of England just destroyed, or are we just unlucky?
The families will be needing these.
There'll be no one left. How can the war continue when there's so much death?
23, did you say?
And they're sending us all up there. Every one of us conscription. They won't stop until we've all been mowed down.
There's 22 here.
Ernie holds out a letter from the side of his chair.
Mr. and Mrs. Wilkes. You opened it.
I needed to know.
They don't say much, do they? John Wilkes, poor sod. I know the name. Which one was he?
Tall, handsome, worked in the pit and led the football team.
Oh, I know the one. I watched them play football in the field sometime. He was good.
You were brilliant.
Like your special friend, was he?
Yeah. I know them all, of course. I grew up with them.
I'm sorry. I'm awful sorry that you lost him. I lost mine, you know. My Harry before I moved here. It's hard. It's bloody hard. One of the hardest things you'll do, especially, is you can't show your grief. You know, not to most folk. You've got to keep strong. You've got to keep going. Pretend it doesn't affect you the way it does, but it does get easier with time.
Maeve and Gladys enter, giddy. They become sombre as they realise something is wrong.
Ernie? Mr. Lewis? Ernie, what is it?
Mr. Lewis hands the bundle of telegrams to Gladys. She flicks through them.
Telegrams. Dear God. This must be everyone who left.
Telegrams? What does that mean?
Wilkes. Wasn't that...
Oh, Ernie.
Ernie breaks down. Maeve wraps him into a hug.
I'll be going. I'll take these ones, my workers. I'll deliver them to the families myself.
Sorry, Ernie, I'm so sorry.
Can't even mourn him. I can't mourn him properly because no one can know.
Mourn him here. Mourn him with us.
He was too good for that. He was too good to go like that. He was supposed to come back.
Ernie, I'm so sorry.
John died doing what he thought was right. He died to protect his country and the people he loved. It was very noble.
That doesn't make it better.
It will do, one day.
I don't know what to do.
Maeve continues to comfort Ernie. Gladys studies the telegrams.
So many.
Who else is it?
We need to deliver them.
I can't do it. I can't deliver them. How can I look at their mothers in the eye, their fathers, their wives, their children? I can't do it. I'll destroy them all. I can't bring this pain to everyone in the village. I can't.
Ernie starts a panic attack, his breathing ragged. Maeve tries to calm him down with no effect.
You need to calm him like this. Breathe with me, Ernie. Follow my breaths. Yes, that's all you need to do. That's it. Breathe with me.
After following Gladys's example, Ernie manages to get his breath back under control.
How did you do that?
You see it at the hospital. It's the shop.
What do we do? I have never seen him like this. How can I help him?
Just be here with him. I'll take care of these. Are you all right?
Oh,
Gladys embraces Maeve.
Maeve,
I'm here.
stay with me.
Of course. I'm right here. I'll never leave you. You know that, don't you?
A look passes between Gladys and Maeve. Gladys realizes that Maeve plans to stay for good.
I'll be back later, all right? Ernie, I'm going to deliver these for you.
She doesn't know where everyone lives.
She'll find him. Shh, Ernie. Shh. It'll be all right.
Scene 7. Maeve speaks to Gladys outside Maeve and Ernie's house.
You understand, don't you? I can't leave him. Not now. He's heartbroken and he needs me. He's not left the house for days. It's like he's scared of everyone. His breath goes all wrong again whenever I try and get him outside.
I understand perfectly.
Why won't you stay here with me?
Because you would not leave for me.
You know I can't. Not now. But soon. We can delay it a few months just until he's all right again.
And then something else will happen. And something else. And we'll never go. He'll always come first, and I'm too selfish to be happy with second place.
He's my husband.
I married you first.
You know what I mean.
Yes, unfortunately I do. Your marriage to Ernie was, in your mind, a real marriage. Well, ours is real to me.
It's real to me.
I make so many sacrifices to be here, Maeve, and you won't make those same sacrifices for me. It's unequal. For the first time in, God, I don't even know how long, I need to put myself first. I'll go mad if I stay here much longer. You know I can't stand it. The lease on the house is almost over. I need to go.
Move in with us.
Maeve, please. That's the only way to make things worse for you. The gossip will pick up tenfold. I need to go. I need to get away.
I'll join you. I promise I'll join you.
Scene 8. Ernie visits Gladys. Gladys is clearly exhausted. Her belongings are mostly in boxes and she continues to pack the last few items.
I thought you weren't leaving the house.
Special visit. Can't I help in any way? I owe you after you delivered the...
It's fine.
Well, the worst has happened now. I'm sure I could deal with anything else. How bad is it at the hospital?
Worse than you can imagine. I don't even know what to say. That we haven't even enough beds for them. Men are sleeping in the corridors, piled atop each other. There are so many. There are more men without limbs than with them, that they scream and you hear it over and over in your head long after they've gone quiet. But you know some of them won't open their eyes again, and that it's better for them if they don't.
Gladys.
But it's worse sometimes when they do wake up, because their stories, they're the worst of all.
I can't imagine it.
Did you hear about Bradford? Over 1,000 men died in one morning. 1,000 in one morning. And that's only one city. There's Accrington, Chorley, Tyneside, Leeds, Manchester, all across the north. And not just the north, there's not a house in the country that's not been affected, I expect. And they keep coming in. Men, endless streams of men, wounded and dying and traumatized. Is that what you want me to say?
Why do they call it a success?
Oh, they can censor the newspapers and let us home. They can't stop the words coming from the soldiers' mouths. When word gets out, I don't know. I don't know how they can possibly continue to justify such loss.
We've become numbers.
Oh, they were always numbers. Ernie, don't go. I know that Maeve all but convinced you, but despite our differences, I wouldn't wish that on you. I wouldn't wish it on anyone. The only fighting you should be doing is at the Objectors' Tribunal.
I'll fight it. They'll probably send me out there anyway, but I'll do all I can to let them make me stay. That's what I wanted to talk to you about, actually. Listen, if all goes wrong, if the tribunal insists I join the war, look after her, won't you?
Oh, Ernie, let's hope it doesn't come to that.
But if it does, I don't want to leave things to chance. I'm drawing up a will. Make sure half of it goes to Mother and half of it to Maeve. Not that there's much, but there's something.
It'll be rather harder for me to look out for her now.
Well, Maeve said you were leaving.
We were supposed to be running away together. Did you know that? Leave this all behind, the rumours and blackmail and small-mindedness. Bloody countryside. I never knew you could be trapped by so much open space.
I didn't know she was thinking of going. She would have told me.
It was a matter of bad timing. Circumstances changed, and she'll always put you first.
You're angry with me.
I'm not angry with you. How can I be when you're only a victim of circumstance yourself? Even more so than us. No, it's not your fault Maeve chose to stay. It was entirely her decision to make.
You're not going far.
Not yet. I have a room in Leeds for now, but I don't know.
She'll miss you so much. She'll join you in no time.
We'll see.
Gladys takes a craft from one of the boxes and gives it to Ernie.
Here, I made this for you.
It's the Yorkshire Rose.
Made from your white feathers. It's something to think of home, if you do get sent out there.
Thank you. What a lovely idea, thank you.
And Ernie, take care of yourself, won't you?
You take care of yourself. And Maeve, if it comes to it, promise me. I need to know she'll be looked after.
Ernie holds out his hand for Gladys to shake. She does so, then surprises Ernie by pulling him in for a hug. After a few seconds, he hugs her back. Scene 9, the village hall. Mr. Lewis stands on stage, ready for his hearing. Ernie, Maeve, and Mrs. Hartley wait together at the side, all dressed smart.
Our next applicant. Confirm your name and date of birth, please.
George William Lewis, 9th of October 1889.
Reason for exemption, you've written here, farm owner with 80 acres of land, 20 acres of which is arable.
Yep, that's right. I own and manage 80 acres of land. I have 40 cattle, 25 pigs, and crops including wheat, barley, and potatoes. I had 4 farm labourers. All of them signed up and all died in service. It's impossible to manage the land on my own, so now I employ 6 women. Without me, the farm will close.
No health issues?
No, thankfully.
No dependents?
Dependents?
Family, wife, children, elderly relatives that rely on you?
No.
We have reviewed your case and, given the national importance of your work, your exemption has been granted. Be proud of your duty, keeping our boys fed. Conditional exemption as long as you continue to manage the farm. You may step down.
Thank you.
Mr. Lewis joins the others at the side of the stage.
Quick, you can do that.
Work is rather more important than mine, though, in the eyes of Parliament.
Next, Mr. Hartley. Step forward, please. Confirm your name and date of birth.
Ernest Edward Hartley, born 12th of March, 1892.
Reason for exemption, you've written to support widowed mother and newlywed wife, sole employee of conscription age for the post office, a conscientious objection to the undertaking of combatant service.
Yes, all the above.
No health issues?
None.
Reasons for conscientious objection?
I believe it is wrong to hurt people, morally wrong, and I don't wish to become a murderer. Put a gun in my hands, and I'd rather shoot myself than anybody else.
Request denied.
No!
Denied? On what grounds?
Insufficient reason to neglect your duty.
Insufficient reason.
The threat of suicide is a very serious matter, enough to reconsider.
The threat of suicide reveals that he is prepared to die, whether by his own hand or someone else's, is irrelevant.
We will reconsider. Give us a minute, Mr. Hartley.
You wouldn't really, would you?
don't know what I'd do if I was sent out there.
Mrs. Hartley, return to your place. The panel have reviewed your case and they've decided, given your threat to your own life, to grant your application for non-combatant work. The last thing this village needs is to lose more men.
Thank you. Thank you so much. That is awfully good of you. Thank you.
Of course, you are expected to play your part towards the war effort. Given your commitment to your work, you will serve as a messenger at the front.
You're sending me to the front?
You will be assigned your uniform by the end of the week. You can step down.
No. That's no less dangerous. I'll still be out there, but without the means to protect myself. And my mother and my wife.
Mrs. Hartley is under Mr. Lewis's employment, is she not?
She is.
Then she can support your mother. Step down.
I'll help on the front line. To be sent away after so many have already...
We need him here.
Mr. Hartley, I suggest you control your wife.
Maeve, please.
Haven't we lost enough? You said it yourself.
Excuse me?
Haven't we lost enough men? I lost my husband in the last war. I won't lose my son in this one. Is it really necessary to send more?
Our job is to help win the war, not to question the methods of doing so. You should be proud that your family is serving the country this way. It is an honour to die for their country.
To work on my farm, I need an assistant.
You already have 6 women in employment.
As you're aware, sir, women are not as strong as men, and neither do they have the mind for business or numbers that I require, with an increasing demand from the army for food.
Your hearing is over, Mr. Lewis. Hold your tongue unless you would like us to reopen it. Mr. Hartley's hearing is also over. We have made our decision.
Wait. I have more evidence, please. I'll explain. I've a conscientious objection because it's not dying I'm scared of so much as losing my humanity. Thou shalt not kill, did you forget? That is true for everyone at every moment, not just when it suits you.
That's enough. Mr. Hartley, you must step down.
If you send me out there to murder people, then you are damning my soul to hell. Because every human life is important. And whether they're German or British or Russian, it doesn't matter. They're still human. Forcing men to point guns at each other is no way to solve a problem. And I want us to win. And I hate what Germany did just as much as everyone else. It were wrong. But if everyone refused to fight as I do, then the war would already be over. Our boys would be home. Sending more men out there won't solve anything. It just makes the war go on longer and longer. And
will someone remove Mr. Hartley from the court?
We pride ourselves on being a civilized and just nation. But sending our boys barely out of school out there to get gassed and shot with the sole aim to kill as many other boys just like themselves until one side has killed more than the other. It's madness. I fail to see how there is any civilization in that. We're better than that. And by refusing to fight, I prove myself to be better than the Germans. And that's how we'll win. No, I won't kill another person. If that's what it comes down to, I simply won't hurt a fellow man.
As I said, the decision has been made.
The decision was not unanimous. The panel would like more time to discuss the additional arguments that have been presented.
The outcome has already been decided.
Then it is undemocratic.
Undemocratic?
The panel would like 10 minutes more to review the...
Utterly ridiculous.
10 minutes to review in light of Mr. Hartley's arguments.
Making a shambles of the whole procedure. 5 minutes. I won't have him wasting more of our time.
Mr. Lewis approaches Maeve.
What I said about women, I hope you know that I didn't mean it. He seems the sort of man to believe that sort of thing, and I thought it would have helped the appeal. I thought it would help my argument and help keep Ernie here.
That's my last concern. I just want him safe. Thanks for offering the farm. I can't believe I encouraged him to go out there.
Mrs. Hartley, if I have to tell you one more time to stay in your place, you will be removed from the hearing. We have reached a final decision. Whilst it is every man's duty to do his bit for the war effort, some of the panel have been swayed by your arguments. If you wish to take on war work outside the military, Mr. Lewis says there is need for a male labourer on his farm. You are one of the few men left that is healthy enough to undertake this work. You will support the army in this way. Any refusal will see you sent to prison immediately.
Thank you, I'll accept. Thank you so much.
Then you'll take the place of your wife.
Sorry, take her place.
There is a need for both of you, and reports say the farm labour is making Mrs. Hartley unwomanly. You work on the farm and she can return to her rightful place in the home.
Unwomanly? Where are these reports come from?
Even now she's wearing men's attire outside of her workplace and her working hours.
You didn't punish her for clothing.
You will not argue with me further. You will take your wife's place on Mr. Lewis's farm, or you will be arrested.
He'll do it.
Maeve.
He'll do it. I'll step down. Mr. Lewis, I resign.
You should control your wife, Mr. Hartley. A man's decision is his own to make.
I thank you for the offer. I will accept the place on Mr. Lewis's farm.
Then this hearing is closed. Conditional exemption for the period you work with Mr. Lewis to be reviewed every 3 months. Dismissed.
Ernie embraces Mrs. Hartley and Maeve in turn. Mr. Lewis lingers.
I can't take your job like that. You love the farm.
I do love that farm, but I love you more.
You really sure?
I can find another job. I can't find another you, can I?
Ernie hugs Maeve.
I'm so sorry it's come to this.
Blasted war.
I didn't sign up because I didn't want to hurt anyone, but staying here, I've ended up hurting you.
It's not your fault. None of this is.
You should go. Get away from here. Join Gladys. The way they spoke about you, you deserve better.
Hang on a minute.
She was right. Gladys was right all along. What is there for you here? It'd be better for you, taking an advantage of the opportunities of the city. You could be with, well, a community of people that might understand you more.
Married a few months and you're trying to get rid of me.
Never. It's only a train ride away after all, and we can write all the time. Imagine if you stayed, how awful you'd have it. I don't know if anyone else would give you any work, not with the way things are now.
Be alone.
I'll have Mr. Lewis. And of course, Mother. And you'll forget I like the peace and quiet, Maeve. Something that has been distinctly lacking since you moved in.
Oh, charming! And you say I have no manners? You really think I should go?
Maeve, please. The last thing any of us want is you getting increasingly frustrated by the expectation of looking after a home. And there's only so long we can avoid the questions about children. So I really do think this is the best thing for you.
This is it. I'm going. I'm really going.
You'll have so many adventures.
Come with me.
I can't. The only thing keeping me here is that farm. It'll look like I'm running away. They'll arrest me quicker than I could explain.
Everyone will think I'm awful for leaving you. The wife that left her husband.
Maeve, I hope you don't take this the wrong way, but they have such a low opinion of us already. It really won't make much difference.
I'll write to Gladys. I'll pack right away. I'll have to say goodbye to Dad. Oh God, he'll hate me forever.
One thing at a time.
Let's go home. I can't stand it here no more.
Maeve, Ernie and Mrs. Hartley turn to leave. Mr. Lewis steps forward.
Ernie.
You saved my life there. I don't know if I could ever thank you. I'll try my hardest. I'll be the best worker you've ever had, except for Maeve, of course. And all those strong young men. And probably most of the women you currently employ, to be honest.
No, it's no problem. It's the last thing I could do. Think of it as an apology.
No, there's no need to apologise. I don't know. I'm afraid I was rather short with you. I should be the one apologising. And I was such an awful mess that day. I'm embarrassed you saw me like that.
Don't worry about it. I was hoping we could start anew, get your employment off to the right start.
Yes, of course. I'd like that very much. Thank you.
Mr. Lewis holds out his hand. Ernie shakes it.
And it'll be nice to work with someone who truly understands.
Scene 10. On one part of the stage, the farm, Mr. Lewis shows Ernie how to do the work. Ernie copies Mr. Lewis's actions with a distinct lack of skill. Throughout the scene, Ernie becomes more competent and closer to Mr. Lewis. On another part of the stage, Leeds, Gladys in her uniform mimics the daily actions of a nurse. As Ernie and Maeve speak their correspondence to each other, they pause in their actions while the others continue with their routines.
My dearest Maeve, I miss you terribly. George has been showing me how to work on the farm, and I must say I've more respect for you now than ever. My whole body aches. I've muscles that hurt that I never knew existed. I do hope you're faring better than I. My love to you, Ernie.
Maeve enters on Gladys's side of the stage. They embrace tightly.
Oh, cheer up, Ernie. The farm's fun. You just need to get used to it. I got you fine. Leeds has so many people and so many things going on all at once. Gladys's place is all right, but once I've got a job and earning money, we can afford somewhere bigger. She's going to start teaching me to drive. How exciting.
How happy I am to hear that you're doing well. I'd almost forgotten how much the women on the farm hate me, but they do a fine job of reminding me every day. I just can't seem to get the hang of it. I'm terrible at milking cows. My grip is all wrong. Have you any advice?
I would have thought you'd be good at milking, Ernie. If you grip it like it's... if you pretend the udder isn't...
Scandalous!
Just keep practicing, Ernie. You'll get there. I got a job at the train station, checking tickets and that. You get to see all the soldiers leaving, and it's sad when their sisters and girlfriends cry. So I give them tissues and tea until they calm down. They say I'm good at it. But you also get to see the soldiers come back when they're on leave and that, and that's ever so nice. Their families are so happy to see them.
I'm sure you make a very fine rail station worker. We're deep into harvest and my back has never been so sore.
Stop you complaining.
I met some more lesbians today.
I'm not sure you should write that. We don't know if they're reading the post.
I met some more women today. It's called a knitting circle, but all we do is sit around and talk and drink gin. It's great. I haven't learned a thing about knitting.
I've been painting again, but instead of landscapes, it's the fallen soldiers. I thought the families would appreciate it.
Dad wrote to officially disown me. He don't want me dragging his name down no more. It's the only thing I've heard from him in months.
I've been doing an excellent job of avoiding your father and the rest of the village. I've been staying at George's a few times a week. It is rather a journey after all, and Mother is quite happy to have me out from under her feet.
Perhaps, as you're spending more time at the farm, Mr. Lewis can help you with your milking technique. He can show you how to get the grip right. You know you've got it right when the white stuff shoots out.
Dear Lord. Oh my goodness, oh my goodness.
All right.
Fine, yes, fine. No, we're just discussing America.
Now they're helping, we're bound to win. Can you believe poor London's been bombed again? Gladys's parents wrote to say they were all right, but it must have been awful when the bombs come down and there's all the explosions and that.
It's been a year now since he died. I do think of him sometimes, but having good friends like yourself and George has been a great comfort. What a peculiar year it's been. I miss you ever so.
You'll never guess what happened today. Some man stole this lady's handbag at the station and tried to run away, but I ran after him and caught him. It was such a scene. The whole platform clapped.
Congratulations. I say be careful, but George says...
Go on, girl.
They gave me a promotion. I'm to be supervisor of all the women who work at the station. They say I'm good with people and proven myself to be bloody good at the job.
What marvellous news. George and I shared a drink in your honour. I always see that the suffragettes are ramping up their movements. I'm sure Gladys is quite heavily involved.
Involved? She helped organise it. You should have been there. I've never been part of something like that before. We were all marching and shouting. And then at the town hall, they announced it.
The Representation of the People Act.
Women can vote!
Some women, when they're 30.
You can vote now too. They lower the age for men to 21.
You're welcome.
Say thank you to Gladys on behalf of myself and George. I've had a bit of a breakthrough myself. I offered Emily some of my rations. Her family are rather struggling. And she said thank you instead of spitting on me. They may be warming to me at last.
The spring offensive isn't good, is it? You don't think they'll win? I know we need more men, but I can't believe they've extended conscription up to 50. Dad came by the station to say goodbye. Don't know if that means I'm still disowned or not. Don't know if I'll ever see him again. I'm sick of this war. When will it be over?
Do be careful at that rail station of yours. All sorts of people pass through, and I don't want you catching this flu. And you make sure that Gladys doesn't catch it at the hospital. I don't want harm to befall on either of you. Now, I do have some good news to counter all the bad news. Another breakthrough.
Scene 11. Ernie paints in Mr. Lewis's living room. Relaxed, clothes loosened, he's very at home. Mr. Lewis enters with 2 drinks, one of which he gives to Ernie.
Happy anniversary. 2 years since you joined the farm.
2 years already.
Still think about it, you know.
What's that?
Your speech at the tribunal. Very rousing.
Are you teasing?
Teasing you? Never.
You are, you beast. I was very passionate about it. It was a fine speech, wasn't it? I didn't even rehearse it. Damn near the only spontaneous thing I've ever done, and it worked out shockingly well.
Well, perhaps you should be spontaneous more often. A toast.
To my favourite colleague.
To mine.
No, I'm not so sure you should have favourites. It's wildly unprofessional.
And making yourself comfortable at your manager's house is the height of professionalism, is it? Are you going to go home? Are you going to go home at all this week?
And here I had the impression you enjoyed my company.
Not when you moan about your aching back and the blisters on your hands and the damn tractor.
That thing doesn't like me. And we both know my skill set is not entirely suited to this role. But the people here are what I truly relish.
Well, the women barely look at you.
I think they're coming around. Emily deigned to give me her hand and she got stuck in that ditch last month.
The only female contact you've had.
Oh, wash. I'll win them over one day. I could be very charming. Besides, you know it's you I'm talking about.
I'm honoured.
No, I mean it. I really enjoy working alongside you. And you're the added benefit of me getting out of Mother's sewing circle. There'll be a whole room of them at home gossiping about how truly awful I am and how ashamed I ought to be. I'd be better off dead than a CEO. No, your company is far better.
Oh, against such tough competition.
And we both know you're the only thing standing between me and prison, so I have to make nice.
Well, I hope that's not the only reason you're doing it.
Not the only reason, no. I've been thinking a lot about what you said, about your feelings for me. I believe you called me wonderful.
Yeah, well, I didn't know you as well as I do now.
Don't tease, not now.
Why are you bringing it up, Ernie?
You flirt with me when we're alone.
Only because you flirt with me.
Do you still feel the same?
Do you?
No. No, I was shocked and flustered, and of course there was John.
You don't need to explain.
But I was entirely honest with you. I've always had a soft spot for you. My feelings have grown over time, and I feel ready now. If you still want to give it a try.
You feel ready? You are romantic.
Ernie leans forward a bit too eager and kisses Mr. Lewis.
Is that better?
Only if you're sure.
I'm sure.
And if we tell Maeve, it wouldn't be right keeping things from her.
Of course, yes, I tell Maeve everything. But, well, not everything.
We'll have to be discreet.
I'm good at discreet.
People suspicious of us already. What with us not fighting, the last thing I want is to be chased away from my home again.
Would you like all this in writing? I could make a contract to sign up.
Sorry, I don't want things to go wrong. Not after last time.
Here I was thinking I would be the warrior in this relationship.
Relationship?
If you want.
No, I like that.
Me too. Let me help you calm down.
Ernie massages Mr. Lewis's shoulders and presses a few kisses to his forehead and cheeks. He avoids Mr. Lewis's mouth when Mr. Lewis tries to kiss him.
Now you're teasing.
Mr. Lewis holds Ernie's head in place as he kisses him.
Stay.
Scene 12. Ernie is on the fields of the farm, sketching one of the fallen soldiers from the village. Maeve approaches. Ernie notices her and rushes towards her, an affectionate embrace.
Can you believe it?
It's over.
Over.
Truly over. I didn't think this day would come.
We won. We really won. Are you safe?
No, they've not actually ended conscription.
They will. Oh, blimey, Ernie. It's only been a few days. Give them a chance. They've been busy.
You can come back. I'll return to the post service and you can go back to the farm where you should be.
I think I am where I should be.
You're too far.
And anyway, everyone here hates me. You should have seen the looks I got walking from the station. They were like this. I don't even know what that's called.
Disgust. They used to look at me like that too.
You should move then. I don't know how you bear it. Come to Leeds. You won't have to work on the farm no more now it's over.
Oh, no, I couldn't. I love the country too much. The trees, the hills, the air. And besides, I've grown rather fond of the farm.
The farm? Or Mr. Lewis?
Yes, all right.
What are you blushing for? You already did milk the cow, didn't
mate,
you?
Really? No.
As long as it makes you happy.
Happier than I ever thought possible. They're celebrating down in the village. Perhaps we should join them.
I wouldn't be welcome.
Come to the house then.
Do you reckon he'll let me have a go on the tractor?
It's not a fairground ride.
Ernie packs up his art supplies. Maeve helps him to carry them.
I think you're getting even better at these.
It's the last one. The last portrait. I did all the men who fell.
You should sell them.
I couldn't charge the families. It wouldn't be right. Do you know, it's made me rather popular again, giving them away. That and the extra supplies George and I have been sneaking to him. They even overlook how much time I spend here. Do let us know if you need any meat or milk. The rations can be a bit tight.
Look at you, avoiding conscription, sneaking illegal food to people, breaking all the rules.
They arrive at the farm. Gladys and Mr. Lewis await them, getting an afternoon tea ready.
Sometimes rules aren't suitable. I wouldn't want to be a sheep.
No, there's plenty of those around.
Ernie gives Gladys a kiss on the cheek as a greeting. Maeve pulls Mr. Lewis into a tight hug.
I should have a word with you.
That sounds threatening.
You better be taking good care of my husband.
Always.
I mean it. Leeds isn't far. You can jump on a train anytime.
I wouldn't dream of it. It's good to see you too.
So tell me more about this counterfeit meat you can give me.
Ernie helps Gladys get the tea things ready.
He's all right there, though. Truly.
Oh, Ernie, do stop worrying. Give yourself a day off. She's doing far better than she ever would here.
If you ever need anything, money or food or...
We're both working women. We're all right.
Better than all right.
Here we are then.
To the end of the war.
To those who didn't return.
Into no more wars.
They all drink. Blackout.
Well done all, that was really brilliant. Thank you so much. We were going to take a 5-minute break now and then we'll be back for the Q&A. It'd be great to have your thoughts and comments. Please feel free to start popping those into the chat now, but we'll see you at 20 past for the Q&A. Thank you very much.